macOS Monterey is now available for download. It is Apple's new OS, but if you really look closely at it, it's not that new. Hey, what's up? It's Andrew. And right after Apple released its new MacBook Pro lineup with its new insane processor lineup, the M1 Pro and M1 Max, they scheduled the release of their new, previously announced macOS update, macOS 12 Monterey. So get subscribed and let's talk all about everything you need to know. As far as compatibility, it looks like most Mac models prior to 2015 are not going to get this upgrade, but there is some variation if you own a Mac Mini, iMac Pro, or Mac Pro. The story of this macOS upgrade is really the same as it has been. The continued convergence of macOS with that of iOS and iPadOS. This update brings more features that we are likely already familiar with on our phone and iPad, and I'm sure that is completely intentional. Apple is always pretty thorough about the user experience, and if you have all Apple devices, they will all work together seamlessly with all of your data synced across all of them effortlessly. And now they will continue to even operate in a more familiar and similar way, with features like FaceTime with SharePlay, bringing the ability to share content like videos, music, and your screen into FaceTime calls. And not to mention the ability to hold a FaceTime call with anybody, whether they have an iPhone, an Android, a Mac, or even a PC. You can even schedule FaceTime calls by embedding a link in a meeting invite, just like you can now in iOS 15. The cool thing about SharePlay is that the user experience, the playback, is synced. So you can pause, rewind, or fast forward, and all users joining you on that call are still in the same place. Dynamic volume response controls ensure you that you will still be able to hear your contacts over the volume of whatever content you are sharing. And this even works if you're connecting through FaceTime on a Mac or phone while watching content on your Apple TV or listening on your HomePod. SharePlay itself is not a very novel feature, right? I mean, apps like Disney Plus have had this for a while. COVID brought this upon us. But it's nice to see this come to supported across all of your Apple devices now. With these features, FaceTime is getting closer to being that real alternative to a regular collaboration platform more common in the workplace like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. It is missing some key features though, isn't it? Like the ability to record a meeting or enable a virtual background, just to name a few. Good progress, still a ways to go. Other similar features make their way over, like new customizable focus modes, which when set on one device will sync across all of your devices to ensure you're not interrupted when you don't want to be. And with shared with you in messages, links, pictures, and other content is grouped together in supported apps. Again, just like we saw in iOS 15. So apps like Photos, Safari, and Apple News now making them even easier to find those shared things and access them. The same updates in Safari come to macOS that include tab groups that are now synced across all of your devices, and that compact tab bar are also found in Monterey. Mind you, that does not mean that the address bar will now be found at the bottom like iOS. It's still at the top. Quick notes are also enabled in Monterey, but this is that one feature I still haven't even used on either my phone or my iPad. Seems like a good idea. I mean, I haven't really found it useful, but what is useful is the kind of new universal use of tags and mentions across all apps, including notes and reminders that help you search for things. Simply just hashtag something, and now this even becomes searchable right from Spotlight even. Live text, that new AI feature for your camera and photos, comes to the Mac, allowing you the ability to select text right from a photo. And then we have shortcuts now on the Mac, allowing you to make Mac-specific app shortcuts. Okay, low power mode is another very useful feature that comes to the Mac, allowing you to turn off various background processes to preserve battery when you're in a pinch. This, although extremely useful, does not appear to be easy to enable. I mean, on your iPhone, you can enable this by either using Siri or just adding a shortcut to your control center and then swiping down. On the Mac, you have to navigate to the battery settings in your system preferences and then select it. I recently set up an automation in my shortcuts on my phone to automatically enable low power mode when my phone battery gets down to 25%. I thought I might be able to do this on my Mac as well, but that currently doesn't seem possible. Low power mode is there, still a few steps to get it so that it's a little more useful. Now in security, iCloud Plus makes its way to the Mac, bringing that iCloud Private Relay, a VPN functionality for browsing in Safari, and Hide My Email, which is a neat way to, well, hide your email when you want to covertly fill out a form or sign up for a newsletter. Even better is the expanded HomeKit Secure Video support. I don't use HomeKit Secure Video, but this looks like a very cool AI feature enhancement if you do. With your HomeKit Secure Video feeds, you can now enable artificial intelligence alerts such as package or, I suppose, person detection. I won't be able to check this firsthand, but this seems like a nice add-on right through the Apple software layer, not through the camera itself. Now, those are all features we should be familiar with to this point, as most of them were introduced with iOS 15 and iPad OS 15, but there are a few things worth mentioning that come with macOS Monterey, and these are pretty cool. Airplay to Mac. Yeah, you can now use Airplay to send content to your Mac from your iPhone, your iPad, or even another Mac. You can share your screen, view videos, edit keynote presentations, I guess, and hear music on your Mac as it's being played from your other device. I thought this feature was kind of useless at first. I mean, why would I AirPlay from my Mac to another Mac? But I can see it being fairly useful, actually. If you have speakers attached to your Mac, for example, you can AirPlay music to them now. Or maybe you want to use your iMac giant display as a second display for your MacBook. You couldn't previously do that before, even with a cable. But now you can with AirPlay. One of the coolest features that comes with Monterey, and one you will only get to use if you have a Mac powered by the M1 processor or later, is universal control. And yes, you do need an M1 or later Apple Silicon chip. And actually, when I'm recording this video, this is not even available yet, but it's promised very soon. Now with universal control, you can use a single keyboard and mouse to work between your devices. So when you move from your Mac to your iPad, for example, the cursor from your mouse or trackpad transforms from an arrow to a round dot, automatically changing shape to the one that is best suited for the device. You can then even drag and drop between those two devices. Copy and paste, I imagine, is still there, but that was already available. This is a really nice to add feature with universal control, and in typical Apple fashion, there is no setup. You just place your devices next to each other, and off you go. The feature will be released sometime this fall, so it isn't even something I can test yet, but I assume your devices need to be logged in using the same Apple ID, similar to how AirPod auto switching works. As usual, there's a handful of other new features in macOS Monterey, but these are the ones I think you should know about. I can't wait to try out universal control, and if I can figure out a way to make that shortcut to enable low power mode automatically on my Mac, I'm gonna definitely be sure to share that out on Twitter or on one of the social networks. So look out for that, because that seems like a really cool feature, too useful not to use. Hey, if you watched this far, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you got any value out of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.